What's up, folks? We are 3 or 4 or 5 minutes early, but that's okay because I'm sure you guys are all going to be tuning in any moment now. We're going to break down the entire PFL World Tournament 10 card. We've got some good fights here. How many do we have? 10 of them, I think. Yes, 10 fights. We got 10 fights here to go over. Pickem is not available today. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts. My week is a disaster. Too many live streams this week. Too many everything. Too many outside things, and this is on a Thursday this week for this PFL card, so that means we couldn't go live tomorrow for it. So here I am to get me today, and I'm just going to cover this whole card, and we'll go over the same kind of stuff like we always do, but you know how it is. We got the great dude in the chat. What's up? Good to see you. And we're going to jump right into the card here, but before we do that, I want to mention that this stream is brought to you by Cloudbet, and you can actually watch the World Tournament this Thursday for free on Cloudbet. If you didn't know that, cloudbet.com, you can watch the World Tournament for free. If you feel like placing the action on the fights, make sure you use promo code 138MMA. That is 138MMA, and you can get yourself some sick rewards by doing so. But like I said, you can watch for free on their app. You can place action right there in the same place. So that's always nice to see. We got Nate in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see the channel members tuning up for this thing. Like I was just telling everybody that I'm flying solo today, so we're gonna break down these fights. I'm gonna go through all of them. Don't you worry. But unfortunately, we don't have to pick them today to break them down with me. Scheduling conflicts, but that's all right. So let's jump right into the first one. We got a bunch of you guys tuning in right now. We got JP St. Louis taking on Tyler Ray. Now, this is kind of an interesting fight because, to me, I mean, both guys have the same record, so you have that going for them. But, yeah, that's not exactly how it shakes out, right? I mean, both guys on paper, you're like, oh, 11-5 for each of these guys. But JP St. Louis, he's on a bit of a good streak right now, right? And for the other side, we got Tyler Ray, who, although he is coming off a win, before that, he had a string of losses. And, you know, the losses were okay competition, but the wins, yeah, they're not nearly as good. So for me, this is a pretty clear-cut side for JP St. Louis, but then again, the odds don't reflect that, because when I'm looking at these, you can get JP St. Louis at minus 155, plus 130 for Tyler Ray. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what am I missing here, right? For me, I think it's the fact that it is, well, first off, it is a catch weight, so that is an interesting one too. I actually just realized that it's a 175-pound matchup, and if somebody knows why it's 175, that would be great, but because I don't. But what I will say, I do think JP St. Louis is the side. I mean, the guy has all of the skills to get this thing done. Both guys are talented, don't get me wrong, but I think he's got all the momentum. I feel like he's the one that probably gets this done at a higher clip. But the odds do surprise me, because I did think he would be a bigger favorite. What's Nate says, he's thinking St. Louis round 1 sub, but didn't watch film, so he's not sure. Well, hey, there you go. If you didn't watch the film, it does make it tricky, so I'm with you there. But yeah, I do think St. Louis should be able to have an advantage most places this fight takes place, but definitely in the grappling, because that's where he's best, right? I mean, by my opinion, he's got 8 subs or something like that, 9, 8, yeah, 8 submissions. So it's pretty solid, I would say. But that one's pretty clear cut for me. I like St. Louis there, and don't worry, I'll still put together a parlay at the end. We just won't have the input from Pickem, unfortunately. But we'll move on to the next fight. We have Josh Silveira taking on Murad Ramzanov. This one had me double, kind of questioning myself, because when I thought about it, I was like, oh, Ramzanov was the easy lean for me, right? And, the odds would suggest that too. He's a minus 243 favorite over there on Cloudbet, plus 200 on Silveira. But then you look at it and you're like, man, this guy's on a bit of a skid. He's got 3 losses in a row. However, you dig a little bit deeper and you go, okay, he lost a split decision to Aaron Jeffrey, close fight. And then he had 2 losses to Shamil Messiah before that. Okay, that makes things a little bit better, because then you look at the Silveira side, like he's got that win over Shipman in his last 3. But other than that, he's got a couple of losses himself, lost to Fabian Edwards, lost to Kasanganay. Nobody's really finishing Silveira. The dude's tougher than $2 stakes, so there's that. But for Ramzanov, his only losses are coming to the top level PFL guys. And so I do feel better about that. It's just, I think he's going to have to cruise to a decision here. And do I think that he covers the minus 243 line? Yeah, it's close. I do think he probably wins. I do think he can probably cover the line, but it's hard to count out a guy like Silveira, who's just always in a fight. He's always tough, and he's He's a hard guy to get out of there. Like nobody's really getting this dude out of there. So every time he's lost, it's been by decision, and he just looks like he's never going to fade. So yeah, for me, we're taking the favorite again, but at the same time, it's not a spot on the card I'm super enthused by. But guys, yeah, if you jumped in, you're enjoying yourself so far. We're only 2 fights in. Hit the like button for me, would you? I'm gonna make sure I drop my link in, so in case you guys do need to get some action on this here card and a good place to watch the card, you can do it right there at that link. Let's talk about the next fight here. I feel like I'm flying through this. I need to slow down just a smidge, right? Sergey Bilstini, and he's taking on Carl Williams. If I'm talking too fast for anybody, feel free to yell at me in the chat here. Well, real quick, actually, we'll take a step back. Nate's got a question here. How confident are you in Silveira? Also, so I'm not confident in Silveira. I think Silveira loses. That's what I'm saying. But I think it's a close fight. I think Silveira makes it a competitive fight, but I think Ramzanov wins a decision. Is what I think. I did see Brian Battle got cut, or at least that's what the roster tracker said, which is a wild thought because the dude's like 7-1 and a no contest. Should be 8-1 because that no contest was kind of homeboy taking the easy way out, which I see why he was getting wrecked. But either way, pretty wild to me that he got cut. But I do get that he missed weight twice. My thought is maybe he finds his way back in a couple of fights, or they need somebody short notice, and he's like, "Yo, what about Brian Battle?" Know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I don't know. I think he'll be back. But with that, to reiterate, yes, I am on Ramzanov in that matchup, and I did see that. So let's talk about the next fight. The next one is Sergey Bilstini versus Carl Williams. Now, this is a fight where I've kind of gone back and forth. The knee jerk was to take Bilstini, and I thought about it more, and I'm not so sure I'm on that side anymore. I know Carl Williams just lost a split to Oleg Popov, but I think Popov is the better fighter than Bilstini, well, MMA math style. But I know that Bilstini just lost to Moldavsky. Yeah, it was a controversial fight as well. So like we're getting some interesting stuff here. But if you're giving me Carl Williams at plus 165 right now over on Cloudbet, I think he can get it done. Like Bilstini is good, don't get me wrong, but I think Carl Williams is a dog that I want to back on this particular fight card. I think Carl Williams can, if he goes out there and uses the proper style, I think he can do exactly what he needs to do. I think he can get takedowns on Bilstini. I think he can control him and push him up against the cage. If he goes out there and tries to strike with him, I think it's going to be kind of a rough night for him. Not that Bilstini is like this lights out striker, don't get me wrong, but he's probably the better striker of the two. I mean, I feel like that's not too crazy to say. So for me, it's Carl Williams, and it's Carl Williams probably by decision. And at plus, like I said, plus what was it, 165? I kind of like the number. So yeah, I'll take Carl Williams here. Maybe he'll end up in the super long shot parlay at the end, right? Nate would like to see a battle in the PFL. I mean, here's the opportunity, right? I mean, probably not till next season though, unfortunately, because I mean they're wrapping up the World Tournament here, so let's go. Taking Williams by decision. Looks like Nate's on my side. Okay, that's what I like to see. Yeah, it's tough with these PFL cards because sometimes you kind of just want to go through and take all the favorites, but we can't do that here. We got to see some spots that we like, and I do like the Carl Williams spot as far as the money line is concerned. We can move on to the next one here. So we got Rasul Magomedov, and he's taking on Guilherme Viana. Viana. That's how you say that. Guilherme Viana, golly. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. Good to see. He's got 7 KOs in his career. He got 9 wins, so that's impressive. But he's taking on the undefeated 7-0 Magomedov. The fight, to me, is one of those where you're like, okay, you look at the records and you're like, I mean, nothing's too crazy. That looks like they're both competitive. But then you look at the money line, and you see minus 2,273 for Magomedov. And you say, okay, why is that? Well, it's when you look at Viana, it's a lot of times whenever he gets a step up in competition, that's when he sees that step back. You know what I mean? That's when he gets set back by somebody better than him. He went 1-2 in Bellator, did Viana. Makes sense, right? We got the undefeated Russian fighting out of Bahrain in Magomedov. I mean, freestyle world champion, Sambo world champion. What the guy, he has all the tools in his basket to win. Now at the money line, it's kind of gone. Anything over minus 2,000, you're not getting a whole lot of value on there. But he probably wins. I kind of shook the camera, sorry about that. But he probably wins. And if he probably wins, okay, I'll take him. So for me, we're gonna take Magomedov, but yeah, I mean, you probably just pass on that one. Am I right? But then again, here we are with another one. We've got Impa Kasanganay and Andrew Sanchez. It's another fight where you're like, okay, that line's a little bit wild, but it kind of makes sense. Although money's coming in on Sanchez, honestly. Impa Kasanganay, you're looking at him now at minus 585. That's down from earlier. I believe he opened on Cloudbet at 526, but then it went all the way up to 599 earlier today, maybe yesterday. Went all the way up to 599 yesterday. He's back down to 585. So money's coming back in on the Sanchez side. And for me, if you're looking at this fight and you're like trying to get a win for Sanchez, you are trying to get a path for Sanchez, you assume it's probably the knockout because Kasanganay, well, he's been knocked out in his last two fights. Fabian Edwards got him. Dovlet Meredith got him. Both of those two guys are the top tier in the PFL by my estimations anyway. So there's that. For Andrew Sanchez, he's skilled. He had that run on the Ultimate Fighter back in the day. He was pretty good. He's like a legitimate jiu-jitsu player. Like he's darn good there. Yeah, but like I just don't think on the feet he has the answers for Kasanganay. I think Kasanganay is going to be better. I think getting the fight to the mat is his best bet, and I think he's going to struggle to do that. So I got to take Kasanganay. I would imagine probably by a knockout. I mean, Sanchez has lost 6 of his 8 losses by knockout. Kasanganay should be the better striker here, but I feel like that's just too straightforward and too like duh, like you know what I mean. So for me, it's Kasanganay, but yeah, I understand why a little bit of money is coming in on Sanchez because there's the worry there. Let's check with the chat again real quick. Nate says he's on round 1 KO for Magomedov. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean. Round 1, that's a lot to ask, but it's possible. I do think Magomedov wins, though, so nothing crazy there. After 2 stoppage losses in a row, it's hard to be confident, but I think Impa finishes Sanchez within 2. I agree with the sentiment. Yeah, I mean, after 2 stoppage losses, but you look at who it's to. Like I said, Sanchez coming off a stoppage loss in his own right. Impa's got to be the side. I mean, they say he lost that Johnny Eblen fight, but like, realistically, he probably could have won that fight if it was a different set of judges on that night. But then he, bounced back, got a couple wins, got, what have you, and then gets those 2 stoppage losses. Like I said, 2 of the best guys in the division. So it is what it is. I don't hate it. So still happy to pick Dovlet over Impa. Dude, Dovlet's legit. Like that guy is so good. When you look at him, you're like, oh, this guy's like short for the division. Compact, but he hits so gosh darn hard. Drops guys just immediately when he hits them, and he can wrestle to back it up. So there's always that as well. Steven's picks in the chat. Like and subscribe, everyone. Listen to Steven's picks. We like Steven around here. Good dude. So yes, and I hope you're doing good too, brother. It's good to see you again. I should have hit you up to jump on this last minute, huh? but that's okay. We're already deep in this card. We'll go ahead and jump onto the next one, which this is one that I find to be very interesting for a handful of reasons. We have Bryce Meredith taking on Lazaro Dron. Now, the reason that this is interesting is because the odds have changed quite a bit. We've seen the odds flip a bit in this fight a couple of times. There was actually a moment a little bit today. I can't remember what time of the day it was, but earlier today, where you, depending on if you had access to certain sports books, you could have played both sides at plus money. And had you done that, that would have been fantastic. I missed it by a few minutes, so that's unfortunate. But there was the opportunity earlier where if you had 2 specific sports books at, well, any number of them over here and then 1 specific sports book here, you could have played both of these fellas at plus money and just took the free money. But we lost that now. So, but Bryce Meredith currently minus 102 over on Cloudbet, and minus 115 is the comeback on Dron. Now, Dron opened at, what was it, minus 189, dropped immediately all the way, or not immediately, but pretty close to all the way to plus 102. And he's been as high as plus 134 at any point. For Meredith, he dropped immediately at plus 160, but has been as low as 157 as a minus 157 as a favorite. So there's been a lot of fluctuation here. And it's interesting to me because I feel like both of these guys have pretty good wrestling credentials, right? When you just look at their wrestling skill sets, let's see, Meredith, what was like 3-time Division I All-American, 2-time NCAA finalist at Wyoming, Big 12 champion. Like there's a lot. Wrestled in high school, state champion 4 times, I think it was. This is all for Meredith. Then on the other side for Dron, dude wrestled in Cuba. He was a member of the Cuban national team. So it's like, okay, both of these guys can clearly wrestle. Both of these guys have the background for that. And neither guy has lost. We got 7-0 versus 8-0. Okay. For me, it's interesting because Dron's only fight in the PFL went to a draw, which is interesting. A lot of people thought he won that. It was a majority draw to Danny Sabatello. I'm just talking my way in circles here, but I do think Dron wins. I think the line has correctly been on flipped to his side. So yeah, I think Dron is the side. I do. But at the same time, I understand why the line's going back and forth. 2 undefeated prospects, both of them with a lot of wrestling credentials. But yeah, for me, I've got to go Dron. I think he's going to be the more physically imposing. Maybe I'm wrong. I think both of these guys have a lot of upside, but I like the training partner. I like that Dron is fighting out of, he's Team Body Shop, but also the Goat Shed. And one thing I really like about Goat Shed is that they are really good at making grapplers into guys that will finish fights. So guys that really come in with a good wrestling background, instead of just control time and winning minutes that way. The Goat Shed is really good about turning those control grapplers into control, but finishing fighters. So I like that for him. So Nate says Dron decision is the pick, but Meredith is solid. Yeah, that's kind of my sentiment as well. Let's see. Nate's saying that is a mistake, or is the Ramzanov's 5-rounder actually a prelim? Let me double check. I'm seeing only 3 5-minute rounds for that one. So I don't think it's a 5-rounder. But who knows? I think only the 5-rounders are only the tournament finals from my understanding, which, what do I know? But it's PFL. You never know what they're going to do. So for me, for that one, to circle back, it is Dron. Dropping that link for y'all just in case you need it. Remember to use promo code 13@MMA. Let's move on to our next matchup here. We have Alexei Progandi taking on Ethan Goss. Sorry. Goss? I can't remember. Goss. We're going to go with Goss. So for Goss, the guy's 12-7. He's fighting the 6-0 undefeated prospect. There is a clear discrepancy here. Obviously, Progandi is a minus 926 favorite over the comeback at plus 617 for Goss. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, you got Progandi, who is, undefeated, has a background in both boxing and kickboxing. So that's exciting. The dude's got all the skill in the world as far as striking arts go. And he's fighting a guy who's 12-7 on the career. It's not a terrible record. He's got a winning record, but he's a guy that's, he's fighting regional level guys and winning some, losing some. So it's, he was on a pretty hot streak prior to his recent loss. So there is that, which is a good thing to see. That means he's changed some stuff, turned some things around in his career, figured some stuff out because he was, not doing the best for a while there. But yeah, I mean, for Goss, it's one of those things where it's was a win one, lose one type of fighter, or, not necessarily 1-1, but technically I guess it's 2-2. He was on a 2-2 for a long time, but had a bit of a streak going there for a bit spanning from 2021 on, and then he lost via heel hook back in April. So for me, that's a good little streak, but I don't think it's enough to get it done here. I think Pagandi is going to be the side. I think he's going to be the one that gets the better shots off on the feet. And I think that he is the one that you side with here, even though the odds are very steep. No Pickem. Yeah, so scheduling conflict. Unfortunately, we had this ready to roll. Didn't work out. He couldn't get back from work in time. My schedule today is a disaster as well. So unfortunately, I had to get going. Couldn't do this on Thursday because the card's on Thursday. Couldn't do it yesterday because the Contender Series was yesterday. We weren't going to go head-to-head with the Contender Series. None of you all be watching. And neither of us could do Monday. So here we are. So I had to do it myself this week. It's a mess of a week. When you got PFL, UFC, Contender Series all in the same week, and then also the Road to UFC because that's tomorrow morning. I don't know. I think it's tomorrow morning. I got to catch up on everything. It's a mess. There's so many cards this week, so our schedules are a disaster. But yeah. Wait, hold on. What Tabology has the co-main? Oh, you're talking Romanov, not Ramzanov. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I misread your comment. Yeah. Okay. Romanov. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, man. I misread your earlier comment. I thought you meant Ramzanov. Gotcha. Lots of wrong, right? Round 2 sub. Interesting. I was thinking he was probably going to KO him, but he does have a couple of wins via sub. No KOs so far, but I figured this was going to be a KO spot for him. But maybe not. Maybe this is maybe it's another sub spot for him. Puts 3 of them in there. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna take if I gotta take a stab at it, I think I'll go KO. So for Gandhi KO, we'll say round 1. We're gonna go round 1. How about that? So anyway, moving right along. So I've got my order mixed up. Let me scroll down a little bit here. So we've got Sullivan Collie taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. This is one I've gone back and forth on. And I still might change my mind on this one because I don't. So you can get ACJ at plus 137 and you can get Collie at minus 163. The reason this is a problem because I think Shoeface is a very live dog. I think that Sullivan Collie has some openings to win. I do think on the feet he's probably going to be better. And on the mat, I think he can maybe stay safe, but that's a crazy ask, Like, can you really? I don't know. When you're looking at Antonio Carlos Jr., the dude has 12 submission wins out of his 18 wins. It's like, do you really is that somebody you think you can stay safe against? Collie did lose one fight by sub. His only loss in his career is by sub. So it's like, okay. If anybody could sub this guy, it's freaking ACJ. So, yeah. Let's see. I think this is a pass fight. I think you stay away from this one if you're asking me. Do I think Collie wins more times than not? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I do think that. Oh man, I'm so torn on this one. I am so torn. See, this is a fight where it would be helpful to have Pickem in here to kind of help hash some thoughts out because, ACJ is 18-6 on the career, but he's 8-1 in the PFL. That's the entire record for Sullivan Collie of 8-1. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go. You know what? Screw it. We're going ACJ. We're gonna take the underdog. I think he's gonna get the sub. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do that. There you go. Nate's on Collie decision. I think I'm going to take the underdog. I think the value's there. Maybe I play it. Maybe I don't. But plus 137 looks pretty darn good. It looks like money's coming in on the other side. I don't know. I think I'll take it. He opens as the favorite. That's a good sign for ACJ backers. So you know what? Darn it. We're going for Anthony. We're going for Carlos Jr. Carlos Jr. Did I say Carlos? Carlos Jr. Not to be confused with Carl's Jr. or Hardy's for that matter. That was a terrible joke. Anyway, we can move on. This is what we need Pickem here for. But next time, the next one we'll have him back. It's all good. Pickem's going to be just fine. We just silly schedule this week. So next one we have Alexander Romanov taking on Oleg Popov. And guys, I've been backing Popov pretty much every single fight. I think I backed him in every one of his PFL fights, and he's 5-1. So for that, that's pretty good. he doesn't do a ton of damage. He kind of just wants to hold guys down, but it works for him, right? 21-2 is the record. He's going against the 19-3 in a no contest for Romanov. Both guys have similar records. I don't know. Romanov just is one of those guys that's kind of hit or miss. I think I've got to take the Popov side because Romanov is, you never know who's going to show, like what version of him shows up. Minus 199 for Popov. That's probably fine. I don't know how confident I am at playing him at anything over minus 200, but we're getting 1 point better at the minus 199 over on CloudBet. So I think he's the side there just with that. And I definitely think this one goes over. And in fact, the over 2.5 is actually minus 123. And I think that might be a steal. I think we get the over at a pretty high clip. Even though it is a Romanov fight who kind of burns out early, I think we get an over. We got Artem in the chat. What's up, brother? He's on the Romanov side. So we're on opposite sides. But can you agree with me that it probably goes over? Because that's what I'm looking for. I think the over is solid. And if you can agree with me, that'd be sick. Let's see. So either Romanov round 1 sub or Popov decision for Nate. Well, hopefully it's Popov decision because that's what I'm leaning for as well. But yeah, I think either guy. I don't think either guy could win a decision. Yeah, if Romanov gets him early, controls him, but I just don't see Popov getting controlled like that. Yeah, there you go. Artem's with me on that. That's what I like to see. I don't think either guy gets finished early. I do feel like we go late in this one. I feel like we probably go all the way to decision. I'm leaning on the Popov side. But yeah, like I said, it's not one that I feel mega confident in either side, but I definitely feel like the over is a good price, especially at minus 123. That seems solid. Let's see. Yeah. Hey, Les gets needing the pills again. I think with the no contest though, don't they throw out your all your bets, even the over unders? I think. If it's a DQ, no. I know if it's a DQ, they count it. But if it's a no contest, I'm pretty sure they throw out over-unders as well. I don't bet a lot of over-unders, to be honest. So I don't remember the last time I had one that ended in a no contest. But either way, there you have it. Wow, we have flown through this card. Guys, I apologize if I'm not going slow enough for you all, but that's okay. We're having a good time, and you guys don't have all day. So let's talk about the main event. Fabian Edwards takes on Dalton Rosta, and this is another fight that's like kind of tricky to play. You know what I mean? So we're looking at Fabian Edwards at a minus 183. The comeback on Rosta over on CloudBet is plus 153. So yeah, the line seems about where you would expect based on the guys' resumes. I mean, 15-4 in the career for Fabian Edwards, 11-1 on the career for Dalton Rosta. Rosta is 2-0 in the PFL, 2-1 in the PFL for Edwards. But that is an interesting thought because Edwards is his only loss is to Johnny Eblin, but he's come back wins over Kasanganay and Silveira. On the other hand, in the PFL for Rosta, he's got a win over Sadibou Sy and Aaron Jeffrey. A lot of people thought he lost the Aaron Jeffrey fight. So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to, do I think Rosta is going to go out there and wrestle him, or do I think he's going to try to strike with him even for any period of time? I guess not for any period of time. It's not like Edwards is just going to run through him on the feet. Also something to mention, since it is a 5-rounder for the Popov and Romanov fight, the over is at 2.5 rounds, not a 4.5 rounds. So I think that's even safer. Just throwing that out there, by the way. But for Fabian Edwards and Dalton Rosta, this one, obviously the line is at 4.5 rounds, which makes a lot of sense. And I don't really have a strong lean on the over-under, but I do think on the feet, Edwards is going to have a lot of success maintaining range, doing what he needs to do well. But it's if Rosta can get the grappling going that he'll have some success. Can you tell I'm just kind of like thinking this through right here, right now? A lot of times I have like a general lean, and then I let Pickem kick it off because he's usually more long-winded than me. And then he'll go into his spiel, and then if that goes with what I'm saying and he says some stuff that backs up what I was thinking, then perfect. I jump right on him. Like, yep, exactly. Or if he says some stuff that makes me question it, then I'm like, oh, shoot, maybe I was on, So for me, I think I'm going to go Edwards. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Edwards. I don't like that. I don't like that a lot. I don't like that at all. But I don't think I can get to the Rosta side because I don't feel confident that he goes out and wrestles him. So we're going to go with that. Yeah, we're going to go Edwards. Yeah, we're going to with Edwards. Getting the speech from – yeah, see, that's another thing. Like, I don't like that he's going to – I mean, he's not Leon, don't get me wrong, so he probably won't need it as bad. But, you know, he does kind of fight with that same kind of measured pace. Nate's on Edwards, TKO round 2. I don't think he knocks him out. I think decision. Yeah, or decision. There you go. I do think if he wins, it's probably a decision because Rosta's a tough guy. I don't see him just folding or anything. And I think he could definitely win. I think it's going to be close. I think it's competitive. I think it's a good fight. But yeah, I gotta lean the assassin, Fabian Edwards, over Hercules. Hercules is a horrible fight name. I'm sorry, Dalton. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. It's just a horrible fight name. I don't mean anything by it. It's just a bad name. Dalton Rosta, actually, he has watched the channel before, and he got mad at me when he was fighting Anthony Adams maybe or something, where I said that Rosta was going to win. He's the better grappler, but I don't think he's the better striker, and I would like to see him wrestle. And then he won, and he did outstrike the guy. And he came back into my comments and was like saying, like, talking about how was that striking, huh? And then, like, you know, I was like, yeah, okay, you got me there, but still, I don't think he's the better striker than Fabian Edwards. So if he goes out there and strikes Fabian Edwards and proves me wrong, well, he can jump back in the comments once again. Okay, let's put together a couple of parlays. We have 2 to make, one that's going to get us to around even money. And then we've got one that's going to be a little bit of a degenerate parlay. And I'm going to get wild on that one for sure. Let's see. Steven says he picks Edwards. He doesn't really like the low volume. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like Edwards probably just controls range. Also, cardio in a 5-round fight. I guess seems fine in 3 sometimes. But yeah, 5 is a long time. But then again, if he's fighting at Edwards' pace, I don't think it'll have any trouble because Edwards doesn't really fight at a high pace. So I don't know. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. Also, just in case you guys forgot, there's the link to sign up and get yourself some sick rewards and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and look at the parlay. Okay. So I think the obvious for the safer parlay, I think the obvious leg you have to go with is Kasanganay at -585. And again, all these odds are going to be brought to you by CloudBet. If you sign up, you can obviously get this exact parlay like I'm playing it. So that's super sick. But yeah, use my link, use my promo code 138MMA. You know the drill. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Kasanganay money line at -585. Okay, it's a little bit steep, but I think it's fine. Okay, who else do we have confidence in that we feel like is probably getting this done at a high clip? I mean, Pagandi, but like that's -926. What does that do to the line? Probably not a lot. So let's see, -926 doesn't do anything. We're still at -336. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to just keep, Kasanganay. My goodness. Thank you. Okay. We're going to keep Kasanganay in there. Rasul Magomedov doesn't do anything for the line. Ramzanov, I don't feel good enough to throw him in this parlay. JP St. Louis is a maybe, but I don't know about that. I feel good about the over 2.5 in the Popov Romanov fight. I think we go with that, but that's -123, so that'll make it. Yeah, that's +112. Let's do it. Okay, so for the first parlay piece, we're gonna go Impa plus over 2.5 in Popov / Romanov. It gets you to, what did I say that was? +112 on CloudBet. That's a solid parlay. I might have to play that right after, well, not right after this because I'd have to go over to somewhere else, but I will. I might have to get in on that. That's since I'm obviously creating it on stream, I have not played it yet. But yeah, I like that one. I like the over. I like Impo's money line. I think that's solid. So we're gonna stick with that for the easy one. Now let's get a little more fun. Okay, so I think we're going to start fresh. And I think the first leg we're going to put in here, oh boy, we're going to go JP St. Louis at -155 is a must. So -155 is a good start to a pretty wild parlay. I think if we're going to get wild, we put Carl Williams in there at +165, and I think that already gets us pretty good. So we're already at +336, but that just ain't sweet enough. Am I right, boys? Is that not sweet enough? We need to get sweeter. Okay. I think Dron at minus 115 is a good line for this. Minus 115. That puts us at plus 715. What do you say we get over plus 1,000? I think that's the goal. We're getting over plus 1,000 here. Do we need to get over plus 1,000? No, but I think we can, and I think we should. I like it. I like it. What if we just throw the over back in? The over in the over 2.5 at minus 123, over 2.5 in the Popov Romanov fight. So minus 123, where does that put us? Puts us over 1,000. Okay, we're doing it. We can't not. That's a solid play. So over 2.5 Popov / Nov plus Dron plus St. Louis plus Carl Williams equals plus 1378 on Cloud Bet. Look at that. Okay, we've got a sick degenerate parlay in there for you guys. If you want to play that, it may hit, it may not hit, but I think it's very live. And for plus 1378, I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? I mean, like $10 gives you 137.74. $1,000 makes that 1,000. Or I mean, $100 makes that 1,377. That's pretty good. Okay, so 1 unit turns into 13.81 units essentially is what you're getting. So I like it. Yes, smash the like button on your way out, guys. Don't forget to do that. Steven is correct with his assessment on what you ought to do. Guys, I know I flew through this really fast, so it's just what happens when you only got one person talking. I can only listen to myself talk for so long. So I thank you guys all for tuning in. This was a great time. Once again, I'll drop my link just in case anybody forgot. Probably scroll right back and see it, but I'll drop it again just for you guys. Use promo code 138MMA and all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. But again, we'll flash these on the screen one more time. We got input plus the over 2.5 in the Popov Romanov fight, plus 112 on Cloud Bet. That's going to get you a pretty decent return, right? Double your money, a little bit more. But if you're a total sick degenerate like the rest of us, Popov Romanov over 2.5, Dron plus St. Louis plus Carl Williams, that gets you plus 1378 on Cloud Bet. That is a sick parlay. All right, guys, with that, I will have to be seeing you all down the road. I've got plenty of things to do tonight. Unfortunately, I got to run. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I will see you soon.